inconvenient truth about the Republican Party.
Already I'm very curious about what we're about to see on this one.
The inconvenient.
You know, that sounds a little negative to me.
That is a negative
connotation to
It is a negative word.
We can find it out.
So we watched the inconvenient truth about the Democrat Party.
And that was straight negative, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They was exposing a lot of stuff.
They did this.
Why would they flip it on us and they just show all good things?
I don't know, man. That word inconvenient makes it seem like it's gonna be negative. But I mean, they said Parker, you is conservative, so maybe not.
Maybe they gonna keep it 100, but man, sometimes we tweak it a little bit.
If they're real, they'll keep it 100.
Yeah. Everybody tweak. I tweak a little bit.
If they keep it like that, I'm flipping.
Hey, I would respect y'all.
That would be crazy.
Let's get into
it.
Nixon was the Republican.
Racist, sexist, Republican. These words are virtually interchangeable,
That's my
at least
auntie.
according to most professors, journalists, and celebrities. So are they right? Let's take a look at history. The Republican Party was created in 1854. The first Republican Party platform, adopted at the party's first national convention in 1856, promised to defeat, quote, those twin relics of barbarism, polygamy, and slavery. Those twin relics were spreading into the Western territories. Republicans feared that
Would they get an update or something?
Twin relics of what?
Polygamy
And slavery. Yeah, and slavery.
barbarism.
That's what I'm
Yeah, I see the bust out
It means like you're
the
like
old Webster.
barbaric.
Bust out the old Webster real quick.
Oh, yeah,
That means
barbarism.
you're barbaric.
Yeah, that's what it has to be.
And polygamy is that
multiple wives.
That's multiple.
yeah,
Yeah.
Twin relics.
So that's what they was on?
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of religions are on it. Like, think about Mormons.
I'm talking about the Democratic Party or whoever was in
No, I think they said the
Republican Party.
That's what the Republicans were known for. Not known for, but that's what people
They
seen them as or tried to.
Yeah, I see. So the
No, I don't think so. It was saying they was known.
Run it back in 10 seconds.
I think they was stopped. That's what she was
All
saying.
right, let's go.
in 1856 promised to defeat, quote,
defeat.
those twin relics of barbarism, polygamy, and slavery.
So that's what they
Those
said. They was
twin
on
relics were spreading into the Western territories. Republicans feared that as those territories became states, polygamy and slavery might become permanent parts of American life.
Wow, polygamy.
Polygamy,
That's interesting.
the marriage of one man to multiple women, devalued women and made them a kind of property. Slavery, of course, did the same to blacks, literally. The Democrats were so opposed to the Republicans and their anti-slavery stance that in 1860, just 6 weeks after the election of the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, South Carolina, a state dominated by Democrats.
Y'all know,
from the Union.
y'all know what I realized? If slavery really didn't end in the United States, we would have probably been like a third world country.
Why do you say that?
Think so? I don't know, man. Slavery was running the economy. We would probably be where we at now, but we would be slaves.
Oh, well, yeah, I see what you're trying to say. Yeah,
We would not involved like this as a country if slavery was still going on.
You right.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, bro. Because it forced people to actually like be creative.
Yeah.
It's not settling for some. It made people have to like actually push
I'm
forward.
gonna
for
own a
some-
business.
Yeah.
that's also
Spit
what
today,
people
Taj.
were fighting for.
Spit
though.
today.
That's what people are fighting for against the British. Because I don't know why the British were trying to come back and like.
They were fighting for freedom of religion.
Taxes, and taxes.
Yeah, freedom from taxation and stuff.
Okay, yeah,
The British
that's-
came and told us like, y'all do what we say.
And they were trying to make their own thing, basically.
Cause like,
it was like, we gon'
We want our own shit, brother.
basically.
Cause like we had America. If America was right now, we had like plantations right now. I understand we would have been enslaved, but really think about what that's gonna look like. It's just gonna be buku fields.
Yeah, it would be definitely worse.
Yeah, but we didn't came so far. That's what I'm saying. That's why you was like they had to industrialize.
Yeah,
And that's why you gotta
where we at now.
You know, it was some men that was walking with God, and things have gotten better. When you walk with God, that's something. Because Abraham Lincoln was a Christian, so when you walk with God and want to, have God-like thoughts, I feel like things will be better. So
Man, but I don't feel like Abraham Lincoln did that behind God.
he might not have, but it was a lot of Christian men that were like opposed to slavery.
Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah.
that got us where we are today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Lord saved us.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like the release of slavery kind of made cities bigger.
Industrialized.
It did everything. I mean, if they didn't
Everything.
end slavery, we would be. I don't know what we would be right now.
You'd be a slave.
Really
We'd
don't
be a
tell
slave.
them.
We'd be a slave.
You can tell them how it would look.
But society would not be what it is today if that didn't
Definitely.
happen.
Definitely.
We would look like a third world country, I feel.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
That's why the guys that were trying to fight for slavery were idiots.
Well, it look like
They
LA.
didn't have the vision.
Nah, not like LA. It would look like
LA.
we would look like, you know how they had the cocaine fields? We'd have been looking like that.
No, but actually, someone sent the video. We're gonna get back into it, but somebody sent the video of like how the Africans are living. Like, it's a lady riding a bike through everything, and they're like mining a whole bunch of stuff.
Cobalt, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. They sent the video. They sent like a link. We can watch it, but it's crazy. Huh? I mean, they were just basically getting paid nothing.
That's what I said on the video.
Yeah, but they got like, it's not like they're out there with no shirt on, and you know what I'm saying. They got basketball jerseys and stuff, but you know they actually like, I'm getting paid like 2 cents.
They got the Tracy McGrady on.
Yeah, all right, let's get back into it. This is crazy though.
To secede from the Union.
Back
The
up,
Civil War that followed was the blood.
I really can see why the North had to hit that bit.
Slavery stands that in 1860, just 6 weeks after the election of the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, South Carolina, a state dominated by Democrats, voted to secede from the Union. The Civil War that followed was the bloodiest war in U.S. history. It led to the passage by Republicans of the 13th Amendment, which freed the slaves, the 14th Amendment, which gave them citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave them the vote. In 1870, the first black senator and the first black congressman were sworn in, both Republicans. In fact, every black representative in the House until 1935 was a Republican, and every black senator until 1979 was too.
Wow.
For that matter, the first female member of Congress was a Republican. The first Hispanic governor and senator were Republicans. The first Asian senator, you get the idea. Republicans also kept their pledge to defend women's rights. In 1862, the Morrill Anti-Bigamy Act was passed by the Republican-controlled Congress to put an end to polygamy. In 1920, after 52 years of Democratic Party opposition, the 19th Amendment was ratified thanks to the Republican Congress, which pressured Democratic President Woodrow Wilson to drop his opposition to women's rights.
So, okay, y'all, I'm finna tell y'all say some loaded stuff.
This is like school.
I'm finna really say something
But they don't teach you
loaded.
this.
So,
What
is
is
they
loaded? What is loaded?
crazy?
What does that mean,
That's
bro?
insane thought
Okay,
right
okay.
now.
I'm following the box.
Okay,
I'm following
yeah.
you. I'm following you.
Okay, so did they call the right because they was actually
Oh my God, he's
right?
saying this every time. Every time.
That is an old
Chill,
joke,
bro.
Is that really like
That's an old joke.
Besides that point, this is actually insane.
This is very
Because all the big moves that helped America into what it is today and gave a lot of people
Came from
rights.
the Republican side,
Hey,
especially with like affecting like
Hey, bro, all we
women's
do,
rights and black people.
like, we're not in the
people of color.
game. We like referees, bro. We just call it like we see it, bro.
Hey, I don't know.
We ain't been
I
on
literally
we
just-
stripes.
We are literally taking this information and forming our own opinion.
Yeah. So y'all think
Straight up and
this
down.
one-sided?
Nobody's influencing us to think like this. We're just looking at the
We
content,
could not care less. We just,
digesting it, and spitting out our opinion.
we just keep it 100, bro. And it looks like Republicans most of the time they right.
And now look,
Looks like
if
we
you guys
benefited
can
us
find
more,
a
I would
Democratic PragerU, send it to us. Because we're open to watch all
Cause
kinds
that
of
one dude, man, that one dude.
Yeah, I
man,
forgot his name.
He was
I forgot.
just.
We've been seeing a couple comments, people trying to get on our
He really
head.
said
Everything he posts is about Trump.
All the rest states went up in murder. He said Wyoming's murder went up 60%. They had 4 murders, now they had 8.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Brother.
That was insane. But
He was tricking us.
Well, you going on stats though?
send us
You
some.
can't go just off stats, even with sports.
No, this is actually blowing my mind. Let's keep going.
The amendment was ratified thanks to the Republican Congress, which pressured Democratic President Woodrow Wilson to drop his opposition to women's rights. In the final tally, only 59% of House Democrats and 41% of Senate Democrats supported women's suffrage. That's compared to 91% of House Republicans and 82% of Senate Republicans. There certainly was a war on
Y'all wanna know
women,
something?
and it was led by the Democratic Party.
Y'all wanna know the fun fact?
What?
I learned this because of Tennessee history, man.
What is this?
We was the last state to help vote women's rights.
Tennessee was.
Yes, it was our senator. I think his mama called him and said, "Hey boy, you need to do the right thing."
That's the story they talking about.
That is actually crazy. All right, hit him a 5.
That's crazy. She in that 10. That's why she fuck with it.
Democrats supported women's suffrage. That's compared to 91% of House Republicans and 82% of Senate Republicans. There certainly was a war on women, and it was led by the Democratic Party. But while Republicans had won a major battle for women's rights, the fight for black civil rights had a long way to go. In the 1920s, Republican President Calvin Coolidge declared that the rights of blacks are just as sacred as those of any other citizen.
Hey man, I like
By
you, boy.
contrast, when famed sprinter Jesse Owens, a staunch Republican, won 4 gold medals at the
Staunch
1936 Berlin Olympics, he was snubbed by Democratic President Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt only invited white Olympians to the White
Wait, talk about pause real
Berlin
quick, though. We got
Olympics.
to pause on what you just said there. What was his time?
I'm smoking Jesse Owens.
What was the time?
21-7.
21-7?
And
I mean, it was third track.
10-5.
Third track.
10-5.
Third track.
Third track. And I think that was yards. Is yards
I
longer?
think his yards is longer.
Yeah, so it's
pretty
21-7
fast.
So maybe he's like.
Maybe
Listen to
19-9.
He ain't no 19. He ain't no 19.
Me too.
I
Man, he
promise
got a
you,
gold
he ain't
medal.
no
You think people were just slow?
That was 1936,
Yeah, it's
bro.
different
The
back then.
technology
Hold on,
now,
let
you
me
gonna
see.
smoke.
Let me
with
see.
it.
I'm saying, but we put somebody in, now to then and give them, what they had.
I bet
It'll
we
be
still
slower.
win. The technology and knowledge that we've developed.
No, I'm just saying, what none of that. Just your ability.
Okay, and if we take somebody that's fast right now, with what they know.
Yards? Okay. Hold on. So now he might have slid, actually.
It's just like, no way, bro.
100 yards
To me, he got a gold medal and he's the fastest man in the world.
Oh,
He has-
wait, no.
Joe Biles went out
He only
first,
ran
Biles
182 meters in the 200.
He ran 20.
The 200 yard, he ran 21-7. He ran less meters. I would smoke the shit out of his ass.
Let's smoke Jesse Owens.
Yes. I'm not joking, y'all. It took Jesse Owens 21.7 seconds to run 182 meters. On a bad day, it's taking me 20.9 seconds to go 200 meters.
Yeah.
I will put that man in the backwood.
What's a backwood?
It's what you roll up things and smoke them out of.
And what does that mean?
You say you smoke them too?
Yeah, I will smoke Jesse
Does
Owens.
that mean you're gonna burn him?
Yeah, brother.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's keep going.
That's so funny.
Was snubbed by Democratic President Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt only invited
Oh my God.
white Olympians to the White House.
Wow.
Decades later, it was a Republican president, Dwight Eisenhower, who sent the 101st Airborne Division to escort black students into Little Rock Central High when Arkansas Governor Orville Forbes, a Democrat, refused to honor a court order to integrate the state's public schools. The Civil Rights Act of 1960, which outlawed poll taxes and other racist measures meant to keep blacks from voting, was filibustered by 18 Democrats for 125 hours.
Dang!
Not one Republican senator opposed the bill. Its follow-up bill, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, is one of the landmark pieces of legislation in American history. That, too, survived a filibuster by Democrats thanks to overwhelming Republican support. But you might be thinking, all that's in the past. What have Republicans done for women and blacks lately? The answer you'd hear from professors, journalists, and celebrities is not much. And this time they'd be right. They'd be right because the Republican Party treats blacks and women as it treats everyone, as equals. The Democratic Party never has, and it still doesn't. Today's Democrats treat blacks and women as victims who aren't capable of succeeding on their own.
Damn,
the
man.
truth is, this is just a new kind of
You said it,
contempt.
not me.
So there is a party with a
Affirmative
long
action
history of racism and
supports that
sexism,
claim.
but it ain't the Republicans.
Hell, buddy.
I'm Carol Swain for Prager University.
It ain't Republicans. Hey, now look, man. Even if these are highlights of just what Republicans has done, these are
why did
pretty
they
crazy
put-
highlights.
Why they put
Pretty
inconvenient?
good.
They tricked us.
Like these are.
Because it's inconvenient because people wanted you to believe that being
right. I see,
Republican
I see,
is
I see,
wrong.
I see,
So they're like, oh, where's
Yeah.
the inconvenient truth about being so wrong?
I see.
You really right.
I told you, y'all.
Now,
I ain't gonna lie, man.
It's
It's
just
hard to deny the facts we just were.
It's hard to say that we're only seeing Republican content, but like, where is the Democratic highlighted content?
We've done one. and it got-
Every time it don't make no damn sense.
Don't, bro.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I can say one thing that a Republican did to the bad.
What?
And that was Nixon.
What did Nixon do?
The war on drugs. But you needed the war on drugs though, but it locked up a lot.
Was they selling drugs? All right then, brother. They were doing wrong.
But they ain't know. Why they couldn't tax cocaine like crap?
Did they have affirmative action then?
Hell no. Hell no. I think when did affirmative action start?
Play like 1980 or
Who
something.
has their telephone in here? Tell your device.
When was Nixon in office?
It's the 1960s.
60s.
When they got the civil rights, but that was around the same time when, what is his name? Who gave the Civil Rights Act as the
Affirmative
president?
action.
Calvin Johnson? No, it's not Calvin. Oh, no, it's his name. What's his name?
Coolidge.
No, bro. He's the President Johnson. The President Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson. He gave the Civil Rights Act. And then it was Nixon. And then Nixon got impeached. And then it was
Early 1960s. Affirmative action.
So that's around who was in office.
Yeah, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued Executive Order 11246, prohibiting the employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, and national origin.
So Lyndon B. Johnson's Democrat.
Yes.
Hey, see, that's what I'm saying.
That's a point.
That's a point for them.
The way that this is worded, it makes it sound like it like helped. Like it's just
No, I think back then they needed it.
Yeah.
I would say back then.
I'm saying that now the policy we made, we don't need it no more. But then we needed it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a point for the Democrats.
I keep it 100. I'm sorry. No. Hey, we got.
We keep it 100.
I agree with what you said.
They had a point right there.
We got
1965.
That's a point for
In
them.
1965, they definitely opened the door for
So
something.
that's why I like Vivek, man, because he's trying to end the point system.
And Vivek did say also, he said, remember, you can't just be like Republican or fully Democrat. Because the Democrats
Everybody
believe
did
a bunch of Republican stuff, and there's a bunch of Republicans who believe a bunch of Democrat stuff. So you just gotta vote who help your policies the most, that you care about.
Who solved your
We
problem?
definitely are trying to see more
That's what
history
it is.
of what the Democrats have done and where
Yeah, we haven't
they're
seen
coming
too
from.
much.
We just have to research a point.
We research all the time.
Thank
We
you,
have to
Taj.
get our facts on.
Yeah,
point.
man.
I was
researchers.
Hey, I know my little history.
Now, let me get that. But that's what I'm saying. It's off the heart, you know? I don't think it's off the party. You know, people could try to push you and just try to, puppet you a little bit. But, if your heart good, then you're going to do good things. So it's kind of like,
I feel that.
I don't think on one side of the party just evil and one party just not evil.
You gonna have good and bad apples in every basket.
It's racist on probably both parties.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Non-racist on both too.
But hey, these highlights looking real good though. I will say that. But hey, try to find some Democrat highlights if y'all thinking we playing but one side, and then y'all let us know on Instagram.